Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlota. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a morning edition of Tigers Live. Hopefully, y'all got some coffee. You've gotten your breakfast in you. Hopefully, y'all are enjoying your Saturday morning. Me and Kenny, we appreciate y'all tuning into the Tigers Live, joining us on this beautiful Saturday after the Memphis Tigers have clinched the sole possession of winning the American Athletic Conference regular season championship. Kenny was at the game last night. Memphis beat USF 84-68. Kenny, let's talk about the game briefly, and then we can talk about, the rest of it, the whole experience, how it felt like being on the floor.
Yeah.
Kenny, first half of the game, pretty much what we've come accustomed to, unfortunately, sometimes in conference play, where it's just too many damn turnovers, 10 in the first half, and though Memphis shot the ball well, it was the turnovers that really hurt Memphis against USF. But in the second half, just 4 turnovers for the Tigers. Was it that simple for you, Kenny, that they cut the turnovers down, continued to knock down shots, and they just blew the brakes off of USF after that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, there was kind of a little bit of a concern coming out of just to kind of give the experience. And I don't know what the broadcast was like yesterday. We were all pretty confused going into the game because we thought that the senior night stuff would start relatively early because they had a hard 8 p.m. Central Time, ESPN2 game broadcast, and they didn't start that until like 6 minutes before the broadcast. So did they show any of that on the broadcast?
I don't think so. Not that I recall.
You were.
I could be.
Yeah,
I had to miss the first half of the game, so I don't know off the top of my head.
That's my fault. I set you up for that one.
Okay.
My bad. I forgot. He was the man was busy taking care of business, baby. But no,
coming back from LA.
Yeah, right. And so it was a super emotional senior night. It is such a unique thing. I just kind of lay the experience out, man. Like, this team is so brand new. Like, everybody's brand new. The only guy who's not brand new is Nick Jourdain. Obviously, Musa has come back for his second stint with the Tigers, and so there's familiarity and levels of familiarity with Musa and with Nick for Tiger fans. And one big complaint I hear from Tiger fans and from really college basketball fans as a whole is, with the transfer portal and NIL stuff, we just don't know the players anymore. And this team feels different. Like the emotion that was in the arena during senior night, where they highlighted Dane, they highlighted Tyrese, Colby. There's the senior athletic, manager was highlighted. They highlighted who else did they go? Nick and Musa, obviously. It was just such a cool. The emotion behind it was wild. So I say all that to say, then coming into automatically having to tip off. Now we're going. There was a level of excitement in the arena, but you could almost tell the Tigers were a little bit nervous to start the game. Does that make sense? Like, there was a level of apprehension, nervousness, kind of trying to, let's lock back in, because it was full on emotion, dude. It was cool. It was really cool inside the arena prior to the game. Energy wise, man, like, I don't know if I've seen, it has been a very long time since I've seen the FedEx Forum at such an energy level prior to the game before for a Tigers game. It was awesome in there last night. And so I wasn't surprised that there was a level of like trying to ease into the game the way the Tigers did. Obviously, that's kind of become the norm for them, right? Lots of turnovers, bad passes, things like that in the first half. But add on top of that the emotion of senior night, the energy that was in the room, the kind of the distraction, if you will. I'm not surprised that the first half played out the way that it did. There was just a level of distraction there that I don't think people were prepared for. I don't think the Tigers were prepared for, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. It's senior night. So last time playing in
Yeah.
front of the home crowd for these Tigers, I remember when the AAC tournament would be held in Memphis back in the day. So yeah, you'd have senior night, then you'd play in front of your home fans for the CUSA tournament, I think, and maybe the AAC had it early in Memphis at a point in time. I can't remember right now, but I do remember they'd have conference tournament games in Memphis for the conference tournament, and so it always felt a little odd to have a senior night and then know that you're going to go play on your home floor again
Right.
for the conference tournament. But now this is really their last time playing.
This is their last time. Yeah.
Of these fans. Memphis is not going to an NIT. They are going to an NCAA tournament.
Right.
They're not going to be in the FedEx Forum again this year, ever. And so this was a big moment. And I love what you brought up about Musa. Memphis, obviously, we've known Musa forever. Just the city of Memphis. We've known Musa forever. We've seen him grow. We've seen him become the player that he is now. And, is he a perfect player? Is he the 5-star big that we all thought he potentially could be? Probably not, but he still has shown development and growth as a man and as a basketball player that we have to respect and appreciate. And then Nick, too, like you said, him coming back, being the lone scholarship player to come back from last season. Yeah, that's a great level of commitment that these Tigers fans love to see in this day and age of the transfer portal. And then also the other dudes who got honored for senior night, obviously Tyrese Hunter, Colby Rogers, Dane Danger. These are three guys who, they came to Memphis from the portal, but they're three guys who have bought into this team, who love playing for the Memphis Tigers, who love this fan base. They fully embraced this city. And, a certain former head basketball coach of the Tigers said that if you hug Memphis, it'll hug you back. And it's that simple. If you show love to Memphis, Memphis will show you love back. And that's all we can ask for whenever you get guys from the portal, for them to care about the city, to care about this team. And that's what we got from those three. So, of course, it makes total sense that those emotions were hard to overcome in the first half. But I think, as we've seen time and time again from these Tigers, they genuinely make halftime adjustments. They genuinely walk back in at halftime. And I heard Penny Hardaway talk to our boy Matt Infield on the Penny Hardaway show. Matt asked him about what does halftime look like for you? Like, are you just talking to the team, or are you breaking down film, and are you just like resting? And Penny's like, no, we show them film. We got it. We have a video team. We show them film. We break down what we're doing wrong and how we can fix it. We treat halftime like a real learning experience. And that's not common for other teams, not just in basketball, but in sports. So it's proven time and again that Memphis did a great job in the second half, fixing the mistakes, kind of centering themselves again, and playing better basketball. So, talk to me more about what you saw from the Tigers in the second half, Kenny.
Well, yeah, I honestly think that if we go back to the first half for just 1 second,
yeah, sure, please.
I think a large portion of the issues from the first half was just overpassing. They just overpassed. Wide open shots in the lane, trying to bounce pass down to a big, or over the top passes to Musa Cisse, who, I mean, let's be frank about it, like his hands aren't the greatest, and so it's always going to be a turnover, right? Even if the pass was perfect, it's always going to be turnover. There was just overpassing that was happening in the first half. And you talked about the halftime adjustments. The Tigers are blessed to have Jordan Verhulst on their staff. Jordan has been with the team for a while now. He might be the longest tenure outside of Dwight Boyd on that staff. And Jordan is probably, I don't know if there's like a power ranking for guys who like film guys who create film for the team, right? Like in terms of not the creative film stuff, but the taking film and teaching points out of that immediately, that kind of stuff. He might be the best at that in basketball. And so Jordan is now on the bench. He's been off the bench, but now he's on the bench this year. I don't know if he's still doing that, but his fingerprints are all over that. And so the halftime adjustments you're talking about are absolutely a result of Jordan's work with game film and Penny's ability to break film down and the player's ability to hear something and implement change immediately, which is those three things all together create a really good environment for halftime adjustments. You get one of those things off and it's messed up, right? Like it's good. If players aren't able to listen and implement, if Penny's not able to break it down, if Jordan's not able to get them the footage, then it's tough, right? Like it becomes an issue. But all those three things are working seamlessly right now for the Tigers. They've shown it all year. They are a halftime adjustment, second half team. And that's what they did in the second half, man. I think obviously we got our we absolutely got the Dane Danger half, man. This is what he does, bro. Like he just does it. Like this is what he does. Like he is there are moments in second halves of games where it's just like, oh, you're literally freaking unstoppable. Like there's nothing anybody can do with you, right? So then you get Dane doing that, you get PJ doing that, and it's just they went off to the races. The defense lockdown started to really, ramp up the aggressiveness defensively. So yeah, it was a good second half for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. Dane was awesome. It was weird to see he went 0 for 5 from the free throw line, which he had done a decent job hitting free throws this year. So hopefully this isn't a trend. But either way, when Dane's making that running sky hook, just like out of nothing, you're just what are you doing? What do you do?
There's nothing you can do, bro. There's nothing you can do
about that shot. And he's doing it to his offhand, right? Quote unquote offhand. All right, come on, man. He's Dane Danger. We already know this. And PJ had another really good game. 5 for 10, 8 for 10 from the free throw line, 20 points, 8 boards, 5 assists for PJ Hagerty. He hit a nice 3 off of a pin down screen in the second half. And I was like, ooh, okay, PJ. Like, come on now. I was talking about on Tigers Live about how he just hasn't been hitting the 3 well. And 2 for 3 today. And you get PJ being somewhat consistent from deep, and that just takes the Tigers to another level as well.
Man.
And I also love to see a good Tyrese Hunter game in the last game of the year. He had 2 turnovers today, but that's better than the 4 he had last game. And we talked about his struggles in the first half against UTSA. So it was really nice to see a really good Tyrese Hunter game on his senior night in a season where I think Tyrese has been a little underappreciated because he does the dirty work as the guard, right? He guards the other team's best guards. He does a lot of the dirty work. He hustles really well, but he hasn't had those scoring outbursts like he had in Maui, where we think back to when he was just unconscious from 3 in Maui. He hasn't had a game like that since, and he just hasn't. He had a good game against Clemson. Him and Colby had good games against Clemson, but he hasn't had this electric moment like he had back in the Invitational. But this was a good game. 16 points, 4 for 7 from deep for Tyrese Hunter, 6 of 12 from the floor, 7 assists, 3 steals. That's a hell of a game for Tyrese.
For Tyrese, a 7 assist, 2 turnover game is
fantastic.
That's what you do. If you can get that from him, the Tigers are in a really good spot, man. Really good spot. Because there are moments where Tyrese will kind of fade away a little bit, right? Like he tends to kind of back down, which is fine to a degree, right? Like because you have such a dominant player in Dane and such a fantastic playmaker in PJ Hagerty. Not everybody can just be as aggressive as they want to be every single possession of the court, but you absolutely need Tyrese to be. Oh, you're good, man. We wait till my kids start running in here, and they your kids are running in. My kids are about to run in. No, just but no, I know. They're your babies, though, right?
Yeah, they are.
But it was really good to see Tyrese exert his force onto the game with assists instead of I'm going to make shots, right? And that's one of the things that's underrated about Tyrese and about this team as a whole is that these guys really are good at doing what they do and not ruining the chemistry of the game for the other players. Like when PJ and Dane have it going, you don't see Nick try to go crazy. You don't see Colby try to go crazy. You don't see Tyre. Yeah. They're playing within themselves. And so that Tyrese game, it was good to see. It was good to see PJ hitting threes, and it was really good to see Tyrese not turning the ball over and getting a bunch of assists and rebounds and obviously shooting the ball well. Like, if those three things are happening, this Tigers team is going to be tough to beat, man. They just really are.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it. I preached this. I said this all through last year on Tigers Live. I've said a lot this year. I care about teams with players who know their role, who just know what they're supposed to be doing on the floor and doing their role to the best of their ability. And
100%.
this team seems to have fully bought into that idea because, like you said, Dane and PJ are the focal points of the offense. So Tyrese, we're not going to have you. We don't need 20 points from you, man. We just don't. Like, we'll take 12 points from you with somewhat efficient shooting, couple threes, and a good assist to turnover ratio. We'll take that from Tyrese. And I think he recognizes that he doesn't have to be the dude on offense to go put up 25, to go put up 30 like he did in Maui. He doesn't have to do that because Dane has now emerged as one of the best bigs in the country. PJ Hagerty is still PJ Hagerty. And Tyrese can do his thing as an off-ball guy who can also create for himself if needed to do so, but also create for others because he's PJ Hagerty top 5 shooting guard in the country, right? For that, was it the Jerry West Award? I think it's the Jerry West Award.
Yeah, Jerry West Shooting Guard Award. Yep.
Yeah. And so if PJ is our 2 guard and Tyrese is our starting point guard, Tyrese has to be the distributor and be the one to, connect this offense together. And I think he's done a good job of that, especially in this game. But he's done a good job of that throughout the year. So if he can be consistent come March, come the NCAA tournament time, it's definitely big time difference maker. So Kenny, look, this is a great second half for the Tigers. They got the job done, 84-68. I gotta say, man, that crowd was touched on it before. That crowd was awesome. It was great.
What did it sound like on TV?
Loud. Yeah, loud. Impactful, loud. It sounded like they were fully behind this team, especially in the second half when Memphis was going on that run to put USF away. You just felt it that this is the FedEx Forum. This is the Memphis Tigers fan base that I wish we had more of this year, man. I'm glad that the city showed out for this game, for the final game of the year, senior night, everything. Yeah. But I wish there were more conference games for moments like this, right, where you just have better opponents, where you can get this type of atmosphere on a consistent basis, because it was great. It sounded awesome. Kenny, you were there in the Forum. You touched on it before, but talk to me about this crowd and the experience it was to be in there for this game.
I mean, the energy to start the game was incredible. Obviously, that first half kind of subdued it just a little bit, right? Like, but it was like there was a crackling energy. Does that make sense? Is that a good analysis? Like, there was just
that makes sense.
This energy that was in the room that was just like, it was like at any moment they just wanted to explode. And I will say this, man, like, there have been moments in this season where the Tigers fans have just wanted to blow the roof off the place, whether it be from a defensive stop, turnover, whatever. And Tigers got the ball, would take it up, and all you needed, I mean, let's not forget, you remember the Tyler Harris 3 from Alabama a few years back?
I get goosebumps literally just thinking about that 3.
Right. Like
who was that guy, by the way? This is incredible.
the Josh Minot dunks in the Cincinnati game, 2 in a row, the alley, and then the alley from off multiple steals, like 2 possessions back to back. There are moments like that's tried to happen. Unfortunately, the Tigers haven't capitalized offensively. Like Colby shot a couple of threes, and it just
you know what
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
That Okogie 3 was good when Cisse blocked the shot, and then Okogie that corner 3.
Shout out to Baraka, man.
Lead. Yeah, it was good minutes from Baraka last night for sure.
Baraka played well. I'm gonna give my every show tribute to Nick Jourdain. Played a great game. Only scored 4 points, I think, but he had 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and only two fouls. Great game by Nick Jourdain. But no, the crowd was incredible, man. It was the first 2 sections were pretty much filled up. The first 2 levels were pretty much filled up. The third level was filled up it wasn't filled up, but it was more than I've seen all year. it was crazy inside there last night. And so shout out to Tiger fans. I kind of knew it was going to be, Francis, to be honest with you, because about maybe 6 hours, 7 hours before the game, the Memphis Tiger basketball program announced something on Twitter. And it was a special 2 hours before tip-off situation with Alfred's on Bill Street. And they were going to they were offering cheap beer and kind of a get-together at Alfred's before the game. And I tweeted out, I was like, oh boy, like the crowd's gonna get saucy tonight, man. Like it's gonna be crazy. And it was, man. Like I can't tell you, I saw a dude walking into the arena with, they have the yellow Alfred's cups that they put the beer in, and he had a stack that was probably 10 deep. I mean, it was like he was walking in there like this, like, let's go. They weren't filled with alcohol. It was empty, but they were
evidence of the accomplishment.
Evidence. There was evidence, right?
There's evidence of his accomplishment, you know.
So I have a feeling that a Friday night at 8 p.m. in Memphis, after spending 2 hours at Alfred's, had a role in the levels of crazy that was inside that arena last night. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
No question. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely a Friday night game in downtown Memphis is a little different than a Tuesday night game. Just a little different vibe.
And this is exactly like this. I was talking to somebody within with the administration last night, and I was like, this is one of the reasons why we got to get out of this conference, man. Like, because those Tuesday night, and I know every conference has this, but it is crazy to me what this conference has done scheduling wise with Memphis, man. Like, I just think it's wild. Memphis is the biggest brand in this conference by far, not even close. You take the next four, and they don't match what the Tigers, combined what the Tigers do. And I just feel we need more of those primetime weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever it is, kind of games where it's just where Tiger fans can come in and get crazy. Like, we get highlighted so much on these Tuesdays and Wednesdays and all that kind of stuff that it's just like, man, those games are tough, man. Those games are tough to have fans come out for. Everybody's got kids and a job and that kind of stuff. So I kind of had a feeling last night was going to be crazy, but it was awesome in there. It was awesome.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So obviously game energy was fantastic. When the Tigers, when the final buzzer sounded and the Tigers were officially crowned AAC regular season champions, I'm sure that crowd will continue to be great, to continue to be electric. I know we have a bunch of clips that we're going to play for y'all as we break down the aftermath of that game, the press conferences, the net cutting ceremony. But again, before we get into that, Kenny, again, you tell me you were there, you saw the players, not just the crowd reaction, but how hyped were these players, man? It looked like they're on cloud nine, just like enjoying.
Oh, dude, yeah, they had a blast. They're having a blast. It's hard for me to explain it.
Yeah.
I really would like. I do have a video I want to show everybody. For those who weren't able to be on the floor, you got to watch this. I want to show you from the buzzer on.
Do it.
A quick video of what happened last night on the floor. So everybody have fun with this. I had a good time putting this together.
Ended up with a win. You know what I'm saying? Hey, win season, man. Win season. Memphis. You guys, we did this for you guys. Thank you guys so much. What a difference a year makes. God is good. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Don't get high, baby. Come on, man. Hey, we're not done. We're not done yet. We're not done. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Hey, get in this shit, hey. At every school, all I do is win, man.
Me and my brothers, man, all year we did it, man. And they can't say no, we stamped. We stamped, bro. We stamped. Come on, we did it, man. You see it. We coming for the tournament. We coming for the tournament.
I need my ring by tomorrow.
Come on, man.
I need my ring tomorrow.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hey, what you gotta say? Hey, they doubted us all season, man. Hey, we need some really big rings.
Come on, man. You know what to do. I don't know what to do. Hey, I ain't been here before. Hold on, kid. Let me not fall right quick, bro.
Second time.
Let's go, big dog.
This is my second time, you hear?
Yeah.
Man,
Dude.
come on.
Dude.
So good, man. It's hard for me not to tear up a little, man. That's so good. I'm so damn happy that these players, that Penny, his coaching staff, the city, everyone who loves Tiger basketball, that we could finally experience a moment like that for this team. It's been a long time coming, winning a regular season conference title, and for that to happen now with this group of guys, with Penny as our coach, it's a damn good feeling. Damn good feeling, man.
Man, let me tell you, dude, it was like I I didn't know. We were told before the game that they were going to do a net cutting ceremony, whether they won or they lost. And that was done. That was said, hey, that the administration said you are going to do this, right? Like it wasn't like the players. The administration said you're going to do it. Which shout out, man, to Ed Scott and to Tim Duncan. Shout out to those guys. Those guys understand celebrating positivity in the city of Memphis, right? For the athletic programs. They understand it and they want to do it. I didn't know what to expect with that, what it was going to be like on the floor. I'm going to tell you, man, like I have been able to cover a lot of fun things, right? Like I've been able to cover stuff. I've been able to, I was at the AAC tournament in 21 and 22, or 22, 23, with DeAndre and with KD. Awesome experience. Being able to do that on the FedEx Forum floor and cut the nets on the FedEx Forum floor, celebrating with an entire arena of Tiger fans. I try to stay emotionally separate from the situation. But, brother, I'm a Tigers fan, man. Like, I've been a Tigers fan since I was a baby. My introduction to Tigers basketball was Elliot Perry, right? Like, I've got so many fun stories of my dad sitting me down in front of a TV and watching Elliot Perry play basketball, right? Being able to experience that with this Tigers team, seeing Penny Hardaway be able to be celebrated the way he was being celebrated, the Tigers team being celebrated, that was one of the coolest moments I have ever been a part of. And I will say this, every media member that was – every one of us after that in the press conference room were like, yo, that was wild. Like, that was so much fun. So the after the game celebration on the floor has immediately gone to like top of the list in terms of experiences covering sports. Like, it was just so much fun. It was so cool to be able to be a part of that. I try to stay away from, like behind the camera. You heard me a few times. Yeah. Big dog. I just couldn't help it, man. Like, if you see a picture of me on the floor, all you'll see is my camera in front of my face and a big old smile on my face, man. Like, I was just cheesing the whole time, man. Cheesing the entire time, bro. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, I echo everything you said, man. You know, your media, I guess I'm media too, covering this team. And, you know, we want to be professional, but also at the same time, we love this team, man. We love Memphis. We love the Tigers. Yep. And it's just, it made me so happy to seeing all the clips, seeing all the videos, seeing the photos. And yeah, it's a great moment. But hey, Kenny, as you heard many times from the players, as you heard many times from them, as you heard the late, great Kobe Bryant say, job's not done. Is job finished? No, job's not finished. We got work to do.
What are we celebrating? Job ain't done.
Job ain't done. That's right. These Memphis Tigers still have a lot of work to do. So, Kenny, I think it was good to hear the players talk about that sentiment, not even while they're celebrating, but also in post-game as well. I know you got a clip from Tyrese. You want to go ahead and put that up?
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, those conversations already been had. I mean, we're in the locker room enjoying it, but everybody's like, hey, y'all, we ain't done. You know, we're not done, whatever. So, I mean, we're going to enjoy this, but, like, it's really go time now, you know. Careers, all the seniors on the line, you know, last games, whatever it is. So we just trusting each other, keep doing what we're doing, getting better. I think this week going to be huge for us to, you know, fulfill some things within our games. So I think it'll be a big week for us.
Yeah, so I mean, the question that was asked was, you know, how do you not have a letdown, right? Like, let's not forget, like, there is history with this, right? Like, Tigers in 22-23 won the AAC conference tournament in Fort Worth, celebrated net cutting, all that kind of stuff, got to the NCAA tournament, and I remember coming back to Memphis on a Tuesday and having we had a press conference, and DeAndre Williams was talking to the team, or talking to the media, and he was asked the same question, and he said, we are going to be ready to go. And they weren't. They didn't. And the players have specifically said they weren't ready. They didn't come back down. And so I legitimately am I think that is the fact that I'll just say this, man. Tyrese Hunter is such an awesome leader for this team. Like, he's the guy, right? Like, after a loss against Wichita State, he was asked in a press conference. He said, you know, how is the team going to respond? And he said, I'm going to make them respond this way. Tyrese is the guy coming out saying, we have more work to do. This season is not over. Tonight was a celebratory thing. Penny said it in his press conference. We live in the moment, and so I want these guys right now in the moment to celebrate what they've done because they put a lot of work into this. But starting tomorrow, it is go time, right? And so that's what I am excited to see. I'm interested to see the Tigers head to Fort Worth on Wednesday. They don't play till Friday at noon, but it is go time, man. It is. This season is far from over. The actual season is starting now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I go back to what Chris Beard said to Gary Parrish early in the year you shouldn't be worried about Memphis, even if they lost to Arkansas State, because Chris Beard told Gary Parrish that they have Tyrese Hunter. They have this dude who, he may not play for me anymore, but I did coach him, and I think the world of him. And if you hear former coaches, especially in this day and age of the transfer portal, especially now, raving about guys like this, that's got to mean so much to us and so much to Penny and so much to Tyrese as well. That Tyrese is that guy. He's that leader that every single basketball team needs to ensure that they keep going down the right path mentally and physically, all of it. Make sure they're going down the right path. And I think, Tyrese's sentiment, the statements that we've heard from him, but not just him, throughout the whole team, like you said, in the video that you put together, they're celebrating. They're saying we want big rings, we want it all, but also job's not done. Like they recognize it. And Penny said it, like you said, in his press conference too, where, we're going to let them enjoy this moment. You have to celebrate moments in life like this. But as soon as Sunday comes, they're going to hit the ground running and get back to it, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
I do want to highlight one thing before we move on to the AAC tournament. Penny was very introspective during his press conference. And I think it was really cool to see, kind of him talking about his growth and him talking about kind of where he's come from, what he's been through. Blessed Media's Roman Cleary, who didn't leave the arena till 3 a.m. last night, like a wild man. So he was not able to make the show today. He might pop in at some point, but I doubt it. He's probably snoozing still.
Man asleep.
But the man is asleep. But he asked a question. And I thought this is such an interesting question that he asked. He asked
Great
Penny.
question.
He said, Penny had talked about rock bottom last year, right? And Roman's a wrestling guy, and so immediately when he said hit the rock bottom, I was like, Anyway, that was just another aside. But he asked him, he said, if you hadn't hit rock bottom last year as a coach, do you think the success, you think you would have been able to grow and see the success that you've seen this year? And I thought he had a really dope answer, and I want to share that with y'all. Just to kind of highlight the growth that Penny Hardaway's had this year.
If we would have had a successful season like we should have and gone to like a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8, I would not have grown. We would have just won, to be very honest with you. That fall that I took, it actually made me better. It made the team better because I got better. And it would have just been a great run. It wouldn't have been with substance. So this year, every win has been with substance because I'm fully aware of what's going on at all times, holding people accountable, being present in every moment on the court and off the court with the guys. I would not have grown as much as I've grown without that failure.
Love it, right?
Perfect. It's a perfect response from Penny, and I think it's a very real response from Penny too. It's about as real as it gets because there's so much truth to that sentiment. Last season was the exact opposite of this season, the direction last year went. And you learn lessons from failure. It's that simple. We all make mistakes. We have all failed many times in our lives. No life exists that's not full of failure. That's just period. But the difference between people who make something out of their lives and people who don't are actually learning from those failures, from those mistakes. And Penny, he's done a great job this year. He's going to win AAC Coach of the Year No, he should. And if he doesn't, that's an absolute trap. But he should. I think he will. He 100% should. And
Roman asked him that question too. Would you be offended? Would you be offended if you did? And he said, "No, man. Like I'm a
team guy.
I think he's a team guy. He's a team dude. But Jesus Christ, if he doesn't win this thing, I'm gonna be personally pissed off because
I'll be offended.
It'll be crazy if he doesn't win it. But yes, he's absolutely the coach of the year in the AAC. He's in the conversations for the coach of the year nationally, bro. Like if he's not going to win come on, man, what are we talking about? But I loved his answer. I think that has been the biggest thing for Penny. He said it in his radio show that he did this week. He said, there were moments last year where I wanted to let the Memphis out a little bit. I had to put the Memphis down. If you know, you know. Because he was feeling attacked. He was feeling like, but he had to take a step back and go, man, let me look at the man in the mirror and figure this thing out, right? And he did. And he talks about that in the press conference. He said, without that, this change, this culture change wouldn't have happened. And I'm telling you, if you watch that video, and it's going to be up on YouTube now, that reaction video on the court celebration video is live on YouTube now. If you watch that video, you just know that the culture has changed at Memphis, and it's in large part due to the change, the growth that Penny Hardaway had from last year. And I think it's time the Tiger faithful have struggled to let go of last year. Thankfully, Penny Hardaway did not. And so I think that there is a time to move on. And I think I think that's part of what the celebration on the court was last night, was an opportunity to exercise those demons and move on and celebrate really good things for the Tiger program. So
yeah, very well said. If Roman were here, I was going to ask him, has Penny ever called him Ro before? Do you know if he's ever called him Ro before? Because I was like, oh, cool. He called me Ro.
Well, dude, there was a hilarious exchange before the press conference between Roman and Penny. Penny comes walking in, and Roman was up there, and he goes, hey man, I missed you in the hallway today.
Cool.
And he said,
that's cool.
In front of the entire media, he goes, I know it's real every time I walk by, and Roman goes, Penny's here. I gotta go. Penny was saying he was like, I missed you in the hallway, buddy.
Oh, that's funny, man.
We were dying laughing, bro. We were dying laughing. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
It was very funny. But no, I don't know if he's ever called him Ro before, but he called him Buddy last night and told him that he missed him in the hallway. Anyway, I thought that was crazy. I thought it was hilarious. Anyway.
No, that's great. That's really
I wanted to ask you, before we move on to the AC tournament, one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more year. One more year. One more year. Penny put out a call. He put out a clarion call this week to Tiger fans and said, you want PJ back, you got to let him know. Could you hear it over the TV? Were they letting them know?
They talked about it. They talked about it on the broadcast. The broadcast was like they would pan to the crowd when PJ was shooting his free throws and the crowd chanting. Yeah, easily. It was loud, that chant for sure.
Yeah. Penny had there's a couple of clips I wanted to show. Penny talked about Tiger fans saying that, and then PJ responded to it. I'll play both of those real quick.
I loved every minute of it because that's how you want to feel as a player. Because we all understand that teams are going to be calling him. They're probably calling him now. And it's so enticing, right? Dangling that carrot like, okay, you could come here and be even bigger than you were at Memphis, but how could you get bigger than, first team All-American? That's what I think I think he's MVP of the league. So at the end of the day, he'll have to make decisions, but for the fans to do that, that makes me proud to be from Memphis because that's what we want. That's who we are.
And then PJ talked about it too. And this is obvious answer that PJ gives, but it's great.
I appreciate all the love. Right now I'm just trying to focus on this year. We got a lot of games ahead of us. I think we're a Final Four team, so yeah.
Ooh, he said he thinks we're a Final Four team. Your lips to God's ears, bro.
There's a reason why I wore my Derrick Rose shirt again, man. I didn't do it for nothing. Our boy, but no, I think it's fantastic. The crowd support that that they showed to this team, but that they also showed to PJ Hagerty. It was very vocal, was very evident, was very clear. You saw it also in your video, Jeff Mack, the PA guy, saying even into the mic,
the loudest one more year chant.
So it's great, man. That's in this day and age of the transfer portal, of NIL, these are the things that can separate a team like Memphis from the Blue Bloods who can offer them $1 trillion. You know, just that feeling of support, of growth, of love. And hopefully, and also an underrated aspect of PJ's decision as well is the incredible coaching job Penny has done this year.
Yes.
Because it's another, PJ came to Memphis to be coached by Penny Hardaway. And he's now seen Penny do a fantastic job up to this point at coaching this basketball team. And I'm sure he's done a great job coaching PJ Hagerty this year as well. I mean, PJ's reached another level of a basketball player. And there's nothing that anyone can tell me that Penny Hardaway didn't play a big factor in that. Penny 100% played a massive factor in.
Well, the Tulsa coach said it. The Tulsa coach said it. The Tulsa coach said it after the game. He said, after the game they played against the Tigers, he said, we thought we had ideas of what we could do with PJ because he played for us last year. Nah, no, he's grown too much. He's too good. He's a different kid, you know? So, obviously that's the case. I will say this to all the Tiger fans. Roman put it out, and I think he put it out in the Discord, this week. But I will say this, from what from the reading the tea leaves about PJ Hagerty, yes, teams are reaching out. Yes, he's been contacted. It has not gone past that. Of course, teams are going to reach out. Teams are going to contact. If you were on the floor last night and looking at the front rows around the court, Tiger fans are they're working behind the scenes. It'll be okay. There is nobody, I will say this, ain't nobody going to outbid the Tigers for PJ's services in terms of NIL. That ain't going to happen. This team, this administration, the collective won't allow that to happen. Honestly, I've been told by NBA guys that PJ should absolutely test the waters for the NBA this year. There are some clear flaws to his games that need to be fixed, right? Like there's a size situation that he can't help, but there's some different things that he needs to deal with to become an NBA, guy, a guy who can contribute in the NBA at a high level. But from what I've been told, he should absolutely check out test the waters for the NBA, do the David Jones route, and more than like it's either gonna, from what I've been told, it's either Memphis or NBA. So,
okay. I mean, he definitely should. There's no reason not to do his due diligence. I mean, it's all about
100%
getting to the next level, dude. Yeah, no question. He definitely should test the water, see what it's like, and then make his decision. But yeah, I mean, I hope hopefully he stays in Memphis, but I also just want whatever he believes is best for him,
100%.
His family, everything. That's all that matters. I do want to bring this up. Jaqua said in the chat that his numbers are the same as last year. That's not, you're looking at that wrong, because yes, the numbers are the same, but he played last year with me and Kenny. That's who he played with last year at Tulsa, with us too.
Right.
And so, yeah, of course, his numbers are going to be great. He played with me and Kenny as his teammates.
Yes.
Now he's playing on the Memphis Tigers, the AAC regular season conference champions, going to be somewhere between a 6 and an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. I don't even want to touch an 8 seed, but we can talk about that later. They're going to be a good seed in the NCAA tournament. They're number 1 seed entering the conference championship. The fact he was able to put up those same statistical numbers on this team with this talent around PJ Hagerty is way more impressive.
Against the teams that he did it against.
Against the non-conference schedule that he had, and against, I mean, yeah, it's the same conference, but he put up fantastic numbers in the non-conference against the hardest or second hardest non-conference schedule in the country. So I don't think that's a fair thing to state at all. If we say that he's taken a leap this year and then someone will be like, well, it's the same numbers, that doesn't make any sense at all. It's a different context. It's a different roster. It's different opponents that he's had to face throughout the season. What PJ's done this year is worthy of being a second-team All-American. Maybe argue for a first team. but he's definitely worthy of a second-team All-American. So
Yep, I agree.
So I just wanted to point that out. All love for you, Jack.
Appreciate that.
I want to point that out. I want to point out.
Totally different situation. 100% different situation. He was playing, like you said, me and you were his starting shooting guard and power forward.
Exactly. Like I was the one shooting his threes. When he passed it to me, and I
was setting picks. That's all I was doing.
Right, you were setting picks. But hey, he still averaged 5 assists, so I was knocking him down, Kenny.
Hey, he clarified. It wasn't a disrespect. I was saying he does what he does no matter where he goes. 100% true.
Yes,
he is a fantastic ball player. Yes. So thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
But let's move on to the AAC tournament, man. The Tigers leave on Wednesday. They play on Friday, 12 o'clock. There are 5. So the seeding is not done yet. The Tigers know where they are. They're the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. They have buys galore. They have first round bye all the way to Friday. But the seeding isn't over with, right? Like we were looking at the brackets before, the standings before. Tigers play against the winner of the 8-9 game that's going to happen on Thursday, March 13th. That game is at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. That right now, if you look at the standings, the 8-9 game will be between Wichita State and South Florida. So the winner of that game will then play the Tigers at noon Central Standard Time on Friday, March 14th, which is the primetime game. It'll be on ESPN2, ESPN Plus. But this season's not the conference season's not done with, right? Like you said 5 games tomorrow.
5 games. That's correct. 5 games tomorrow. East Carolina plays Florida Atlantic. North Texas plays Temple, which could be a good game. UTSA, Charlotte, Tulsa, Wichita State, then UAB, Tulane, which could also be a good game as well. So, yeah, it's not. There's still 5 more AAC games tomorrow, so the full seeding is not 1,000% set.
Can I just, Richard? Thank you for posting this. I'm so pissed off. I can't stand the AAC. So, go check the AAC landing page. I expected banner story on Tigers win regular season championship. Nope. Picture of Charlotte baseball. Shout out to the AAC.
Shout out Charlotte baseball.
Shout out Charlotte baseball.
Apparently.
When did they become phenomenal? Jesus.
Sorry.
No, it's just crazy to me, man. AAC anyway. So they're playing. So there could be some movement in the standings. North Texas playing at Temple. It'll be interesting to see if Jamal Mashburn plays. If Jamal Mashburn plays, that could be a tough game for North Texas. So then UAB is on the road against Tulane. Tulane, if UAB wins that game, UAB becomes the number 2 seed. UNT becomes the 3 seed. If Temple wins against, if they beat Wichita State, if they beat North Texas tomorrow, then Wichita State will move up to, it looks like, I don't know what the breakdown, has Wichita State beat, Florida Atlantic beat Wichita State, didn't they? In this conference season. I think that happened.
I don't remember.
So it could, I mean, that 7, 8, 9 seeding could be changed up completely by tomorrow. It could be a Florida Atlantic game, which give me that every day, all day in the quarterfinals, right? But yeah, they a lot could happen. Then they play, obviously, the winner of they'll play if they win that game in the quarterfinals on Friday, they'll play semifinals on Saturday, 2 p.m. On ESPN2. It would be, if everything remains chalk, it'll be the 5 seed versus the 4 seed, the winner of that game. Which right now that would be Tulane, East Carolina. If everything remains chalk, they would play in the semifinals the winner of Tulane versus East Carolina. Yes, I'll take that. Right, that would be good. That would be good. And then obviously they would play in the finals at 2:15 on Sunday, March 16th on ESPN. Yeah. So Tigers have 3 games in 3 days. They're the heavy favorites, right? Going in.
Yeah, I mean, no question. They're definitely the heavy favorites, especially knowing that they've basically smacked UAB twice now. They've just, especially in the second half against UAB at UAB, where they just sunned that team. I think they're the heavy favorite. The only team that I think could maybe bid steal is North Texas in the conference, just because they're such a good defensive team. We've talked about them before. I have full respect for that team, Ross Hodge, for the roster. Nothing but respect for North Texas. That's just a really good basketball team. And when they played Memphis at home, Memphis barely beat them by one. So by one, I think it might be two, but it was a close game. 4. I'm sorry. Okay, it was still a close game.
100%.
Thank you. But it was still a close game all the way until the end. That was a great basketball game.
I will say this though. I will say this: the biggest change with the Tigers is the emergence of Dane Danger.
Yes.
Musa was starting during that time period. Dane wasn't playing. Let me look at this real quick. I want to see this. Make sure I got it right. But yeah, this team is. I don't think the North Texas has anybody that can stop Dane Danger in the paint. They had that kid Sissoko, who's big, but he is I think 6'5". No, they have him listed at 6'9". I don't think he's 6'9", but they're a good team though. They're a good team. Musa started that game, had played 15 minutes, 3 fouls, 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist,
not effective at all.
Not good game for him. No. Dane played 27 minutes, had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 7 turnovers in that game. I remember that game now. You remember that 7 turnover game?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, no question. Dane's biggest issue was they did a good job pushing Dane out of his spot in the post, so Dane would catch it like damn near at the 3-point line. And every time Dane tried to put the ball on the floor, North Texas would just dig at his hands, at the ball. And also they doubled Dane really well. And this was before Dane started to process the game when people would double him better. Now I don't think you can double Dane Danger because he will pick you apart with his passing. He will. He's gotten so much better as a passer. And I remember the press conference where it may have even been this one where they asked him about Roman probably asked him how do you get better at when other teams double you? And Dane was straight up like, I just got to slow the game down. Once I slow the game down, I'll be able to see things better. And you watch Dane play ball now compared to first half of the season, it's night and day. The game is definitely slowed down for Dane. And so, yes, I respect North Texas. I'm not saying that, nothing to take away from them at all, but Memphis should still win. Like Memphis is still the heavy favorite to win the American Athletic Conference and get that automatic bid. I do want to say too, for the NCAA tournament, I know some people like to state that, well, if Memphis wins the tournament, that means they'll get the best possible seed. I just want to say that usually the seeding is determined before Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday doesn't matter.
They will play. Sunday doesn't really matter. So if they just make the finals, then they're going to get the best seed they possibly can, no matter what happens on Sunday. Because the committee doesn't change their seeding an hour before they announce. They have it pretty much done on Saturday. So
a point of that, and the Tigers have experienced that in the past. The year they were the 8 seed versus FAU. They beat Houston in the conference championship. Houston was the number 1 seed, and Memphis stayed at the 8 seed. So yeah, I mean just get there, right? Like just get there. Just get there to the finals, and go win it. Go bring home some more big rings. Like that. That'll be fun. But yeah, I think Tigers go into this AAC tournament the heavy favorites. Again, it is tough to beat a team 3 times in a year, so it's going to be tough. So if they play UAB, it's going to be a better game. I would suspect it's a better game. Memphis fans they travel better than anybody in this conference. Even better. I mean, listen, Denton is like 30 minutes from Fort Worth, and I would suspect Tiger fans, there'll be more Tiger fans than North Texas fans at this game. I would suspect. I could be wrong on that. I'll let you know. If I'm wrong on that, I'll let you know. But the Tiger fans are absolutely, they travel very, very, very well to these tournaments, to really anywhere. But obviously the AAC tournament happens this week and then immediately goes into the NCAA tournament. So let's talk about that. ESPN just dropped their latest bracketology, and they have Memphis as a 7 seed in the South bracket with Auburn, number 1, Michigan State, number 2, St. John's, number 3. Ouch. Right?
Yep. Damn. Like that's literally the album cover for Kendrick Lamar's "Damn" is just him looking down and then just the word right there. That's all it is. That's a tough bracket. That is a very.
If that's where the Tigers end up. We talked about this prior when it dropped. The bracketology dropped almost right when we were going live with this show. Yeah. We talked about St. John's. Right? Like everybody knows Auburn. Like Auburn is Auburn, man. Auburn is tough. Auburn got smoked the other day on the road. So you have to wonder if maybe some fatigue, injuries, the SEC play is getting to them a little bit. But they're going to be awesome. Auburn is awesome. They should make it to the Final Four. You know, hopefully if the Tigers are in their bracket, they don't. But they're that good. They're the number 1 team in the country. They've been that way all year. Yeah. St. John's is a team that there's always a team that you go, okay, not everything's going to stay chalk. Number 1, all the number 1s aren't going to make it more than likely. That's just not how it works in the NCAA tournament. St. John's is a team that I could see being a Final Four team with the way they play, especially with the physicality in which they play. Defensively, all that kind of stuff. So having them be the 3 seed in the Tigers bracket, that's tough, man. That's tough. If that's where they end up, that's a tough look. Can the Tigers beat them? I think the Tigers can beat any team in the country when they're playing their best. I think they can beat any team in the country, but there is kind of a formula, I guess, that you look at and say, what does a team look like that the Tigers struggle with? It's that Auburn, it's that tough physical, brand of basketball, big guard, big wings, physical wings, defensive wings,
really
low
well
post
coached,
presence, really well coached, and that's what St. John's is. So that's tough if that happens. So
Michigan State's not the same team we faced in Maui. I know we beat them, but their offense has gotten better and their defense is still great. That's a different team now. So obviously we know that the Tigers can beat Michigan State. They've done it, but also you can't just assume that history will repeat itself in the NCAA tournament. They're a better team than they were back in freaking November at this rate. So it's that would be a hard bracket, and I definitely look forward to Selection Sunday to see where the committee puts Memphis. I also think the Memphis Tigers team now will be an interesting case study for predicting where teams like the Tigers will fall and come NCAA tournament time with their seeding, because you can look at the resume, and I want to bring this up because I was talking to a friend of mine on Twitter. Shout out to my friend Kenneth Cotterill. He has a great podcast for sports betting. Me and him are friends. We are friends, but he likes to troll me.
Oh, of course.
He likes to troll and talk his shit. That's cool. I'll troll him right back. He's a big Duke fan.
He's jealous of jealous of your hair, bro. He's jealous of your hair.
That's definitely.
How in the world are you? How in the world is it 7 a.m. where you're at right now and you've got hair that looks like that? What the hell is going on here, man? I'm
good
just saying.
Product, I guess.
Good product.
Yeah.
Good product, genes, man. You come from good genes, bro. He's jealous of your hair.
Shout out to my parents. So he was. I tweeted out that it's absurd that Memphis is closer to an 8 seed than a 5 seed. Right now, Lunardi has him 7, right? But Lunardi has him as like the worst possible 7 seed, and that to me, I think to you and to all of us, is pretty ridiculous that is the case. But it is, but we'll see what the committee does. But bracketology wise, that's where a lot of people have Memphis at. Yeah. And then he tweeted me back and said, well, other people just have better resumes. That's the problem of playing the American Athletic Conference. And I was like, better resumes? No, they don't. This dude, Evan Miyakawa, who's great with numbers, shout out Evan, he had Memphis back in late February, the 14th best resume in the country. And I showed that to Kenneth, and then I tweeted at Evan as well. And then Evan responded to my tweet, which thank you, Evan.
Shout out Evan.
Shout out Evan. I'll read to you all here on Tigers Live, to you, Kenny, as well, what he said to me. Based on body of work, Memphis right now is ranked 20th in resume quality at evanmia.com, which would be in line with the last 5 seed. The predictive metrics are much lower on Memphis, but only losing 5 games against their schedule is more impressive than they are getting credit for.
Yep.
There you go. It's that simple. And you open up the graphic that Evan also put on his tweet to me. There's a line in the table that says resume category, and it says for Memphis 3 to 5 seed. So that shows to you, to us, where Memphis's resume, just straight up resume, is based. I remember also, our boy Gabe Kuhn and you and Christian Fowler on the Bluff podcast talking about how Memphis's RPI is like 4th or something. I think that's what Gabe said.
Ranked
something really high.
Yeah.
And RPI is just based on pure resume.
Right.
It doesn't take into account the net and the Ken Palms,
the predictive measure, the predictive metrics, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So just straight resume wise, Memphis's resume is great. And so that's why it's a little ridiculous. It's very ridiculous for Memphis to be closer to an 8 seed than they are to a 5 seed. It'll be very interesting come Selection Sunday where they place the Tigers.
The Memphis Tigers will be a case study, depending on where they end up. Will be the case study for conference bias is what it will be, because everybody, like the wins over the bubble, the predicted the strength of schedule, all those metrics that Evan talks about that he uses to kind of rank teams, tell us where the Tigers should be, right? Based on their strength of schedule, based on their their all of that. The Tigers will be a case study for conference bias if they get a 7 seed or an 8 seed in this tournament. Because everything tells us they should be a 4 or 5 seed. Everything.
Everything.
I mean, a perfect example, Coach Wayne Kelly said it. Kansas is playing some of the worst basketball. Preseason number 1 has played some of the worst basketball a preseason number 1 has played, with 11 losses, and they're an 8 seed in the ESPN bracketology. Like if Kansas and Memphis are within touching distance of each other in terms of the brackets and the seedings, it is a case study for conference bias. And so that's what are the Tigers supposed to do? Right? Just they go out and win. They go out and do their thing. They've lost 5 games this year. Just go win, right? Just go play. Yeah. Just go play. And so there's really nothing that can be done about it other than Memphis pursuing a new conference. But at this point, it's just like, it is what it is, man. They've done what they can do. Yeah, and Bart Torvik and Ken Palm and all those guys can tell the story, can shape the narrative the way they want to, and tell all the stories they want about why the Tigers this and why the Tigers that, and why Kansas is higher ranked, why North Carolina is is not even on the bubble right now for the NCAA tournament, but yet predictive metrics tell us that they're better than the Tigers. Like it's like, come on, man. Like, what do we do here? There's, so.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. When Selection Sunday happens, once the NCAA tournament is over, we will definitely do this again while we prep for the NCAA tournament. We definitely will got Tigers Live for you. What's the plan for you and Roman for BCM coverage when y'all are at the AC tournament?
We need to we're going to work through that, because cool. the conference schedule is the game situation is so weird. Once the game is done, there's like a 5 to 10 minute cooling off period for the players, and then they come immediately in for a press conference. We might not be able to go live immediately after games. We might have to do it afterwards. Tiger fans, stick with us. Roman and I are going to be living in the gym. We'll be there the entire time. Francis will post a kind of a schedule for when we're going to do things. BCM will be there. You'll see highlight packages. You'll see press conferences. You'll see Tigers Live will be happening. But we're still trying to work out kind of what the scheduling will look like for that. It might not be immediately after every single game, but we're going to try. During the NCAA tournament, it's going to be no holds barred. We're going to be going just like we have been. So stick with us at Tigers Live. We'll still be here. We'll be rolling.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What we got y'all covered for the Memphis Tigers basketball coverage as the Tigers hit the stretch run of postseason play. The best time of year, y'all. March Madness. Let's get it. I'm so excited. I live in San Diego, and all my friends know how much I love the Tigers, how much I love basketball. I already have had people ask me, so what do you think about the Tigers team? And I'm going to fill in my bracket, and like, what do you think? So I'm excited. It's gonna be a great time of year. All of y'all tuned in. Definitely just stick with us here at BCM. Sending my resume.
Coach, you ain't got to send your resume, bro. You stamped, bro. We got you.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You ain't got to send your resume, man. We know.
Absolutely. No, it's look, all of y'all tuned in Tigers Live this year. For the regular season, obviously, job's not done for us either. But for the regular season, the time that all the things that we've done this year for Tigers Live, all y'all who stuck with us, tuned into every show, y'all are fantastic. Me, Kenny, Roman, all of us at Bluff City. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Kay?
No, the show was doing well when we had I logged into the YouTube or logged into the show today to come on live, and we had like 10 comments already in there. Where are you guys? Why are you not doing what? You dropped the ball. Listen.
I had to walk my dogs. I'm so sorry.
No. I'm talking about last night. People were going,
oh, gotcha.
You didn't have a show immediately after the game. Listen, there was no way that was going to happen with all the stuff that was going on the court, man. And honestly, let's be frank about it. You kind of enjoyed seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff, right? Like the videos and stuff like that. What if that during the tournament, that's what Tigers Live does, is I'm able to bring in some more elements to it, right? Like where we're having press conference stuff, like, on the court stuff. That'd be, I think that's more fun. But we just couldn't get to like Roman and I were crazy after the game. It was a wild environment. I didn't want Francis on here by himself talking into the void. So we decided let's hold and do it the next morning. But the shout out to everybody who was pissed off at us for not doing a show last night.
Yeah, then someone tweeted me, well, because we were late, like, where's the show? I was like, hey, it just started now.
Yeah,
I appreciate the enthusiasm, all the love shown. Really, thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. It means everything to us for just to do this and have you all support. Let's keep it going. We still got work to do for Tigers Live, the Memphis Tigers basketball team. They still got work to do for their season. So, Ken, any last thoughts before we get up out of here?
Man, shout out. Let's get to it. The real season starts now. Let's go.
Absolutely. Everybody tuning into Tigers Live, thank y'all so much. Everybody in the comment section, shout out to every one of y'all for being in the comment section, showing love to us and participating in the show. If you're watching the show on Twitter, be sure to head over to YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe to Bluff City Media, turn on the notification bell so that way you get alerted every single time an episode of all the awesome shows that BCM puts out as soon as they get released. Content drops every single day during the week at Bluff City Media, so you don't want to miss any of it. You can find me on Twitter at Sucka Sports, SLUGGA Sports. You can find Kenny at Kenny_BCM. Everyone tweeted Kenny and tell him that you love him. He will. Everyone do that. Everyone bombard Kenny's Twitter.
All right, let me set my account to private. Hold on. Where are we at? No, I'm just joking. Love you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Tiger fans are crazy, bro. Like crazy.
I love it.
This show is Tiger fans are everywhere. You know how popular we are in the Czech Republic? Like, for real. Like, this show is crazy. I'm like, where is the conclave of Tiger fans in the Czech Republic? Like, what is going on there? Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with us every single time, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Up next is the AAC tournament. So until next time, peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Tigers Live. If If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next time.